Hello, everybody, and welcome to DraftKings. That's right, it's week 5 of the English Premier League, and we're doing what we hope all of you out there are doing. We are picking our 8-man teams for this weekend. Right, so, as ever, I am joined by Jamie Hinks to my left, and over here to my right, it's Edo Del Monte, and Andy Davis sends his apologies. He is in hospital or something. No, he's absolutely fine. He's busy. He's a very busy man, and he'll be back in a few weeks. So, gentlemen, we're going to start off with our goalkeepers, as we always do, and I'm going to kick things off with mine. Okay?
Ooh,
yes, I picked. I'm back in doing this now. I've started picking teams again. So I've started with Tom Heaton of Burnley. That's right. I think he's been doing very, very, very well. He's come up. He's stopping shots. He has got a tough game. He's playing against Leicester, so there will be shots to be saved. But even the other week, they shipped a few goals in. He still scored around 8 or 9 points simply because of the sheer amount of shot stopping. So I can justify, I'm justified in picking him. Edo, how about yourself? Who's your goalkeeper?
I like that. That's got cojones. This one's got less cojones. This one's got less chutzpah, but Martin Stekelenburg of Everton, because I don't believe in Stekelenburg. I've got less trust in Middlesbrough's attacking potential. I really like his price. And yeah, I think that Everton have really tidied things up at the back there. Considering that Funes Mori sometimes still plays, they've actually managed to basically not concede a lot. I'm really impressed. And yeah, there'll be shots to be saved because maybe, Stuani Negredo will maybe manage to conjure up a few things. But I'm really counting on the clean sheet here as well at Goodison Park. So, Stekelenburg.
Okay, big player for Everton. Quite a wise choice, I think. So, Jamie, who's in goal for yourself?
I've gone Kasper Schmeichel, 5,600 Leicester. I think if you're playing cash games, have to pick him. I don't think there's any other keeper who has a better clean sheet win potential than he does, really. I can't see Burnley scoring. They may score, but I don't think it's particularly likely. Burnley, similar level to Club Brugge. Leicester haven't lost a home game since last September. It just screams out to me that they're going to win this game. And I think, if you pick Schmeichel, you'll get a good number of points.
Could well do. Quite a couple of quid, though.
It's a lot, 5,600.
It's a lot of dollars. It's got to be said, but there we are. So let's move on to our defence. Jamie, I'm going to stay with you. Who are your two defenders?
I've stacked up Schmeichel with Luis Hernandez. If he doesn't play, I've left enough money on the table just so I can put Simpson in there. I just think the clean sheet will be there, and Hernandez may get forward. I'm not too confident in that, but even if he doesn't, I think he'll get enough tackles, interceptions, and a clean sheet to justify it. And he's only 3,300, so it's very cheap. I've gone even cheaper. I've gone for Phil Jagielka for 3,100. I don't like picking centre-backs usually, but I've gone and done it recently, and I think there's such a threat from set pieces, Everton, that you could get a headed goal from a defender. I like Jagielka to score more than I do Williams, because I just don't think Williams ever scores headers from corners or anything like that. Palace had a lot of joy getting balls into the box against them. On another day, Scott Dan would have scored if he'd been able to head the ball straight. So I think maybe Jagielka gets a goal this week.
Okay.
3,100.
Yeah, that's more than affordable.
3,100.
I've gone for these two defenders. I've gone for Mr. Loughton because he's been doing very, very well. I would say he's averaging 7.6, and he's still only 4.1, which is phenomenal, really. I'm really surprised his price hasn't shot up. And next to him, I've done what you've done, really. I've gone for a central defender that really usually doesn't do much in terms of scoring points, but could do. We'll see. I've gone for John Stones of Man City. He's only 3.5. So he's incredibly cheap. He's slowly growing in confidence under Pep. I think he's only going to improve. So really, budget reasons and the fact that I think they're going to have a clean sheet as well. Edo, how about yourself? Who are your two defenders?
I really followed your logic there. In fact, both of yours. I really wanted Otamendi at 4,000, but then I realised that City have yet to keep a clean sheet this season in the league. So I was just a little bit because Otamendi can actually pop up with the occasional goal. So instead of him, I went for two fullbacks. Brendan Galloway of West Brom against West Ham. His one home game against Middlesbrough, he managed to somehow get 11 points. Yep. A couple of nice runs, he was found by a couple of nice long balls, put some crosses in. He'll be facing the likes of Go Cantore or possibly Mikhail Antonio, Sam Byram. So it'll be a tough game, many tackles, few interceptions in there, and he's at 3,600. So I think that's a decent start. Mason Holgate's my other one, still criminally underpriced at 3,800, simply because, he's playing Middlesbrough. He'll be up against Friend. And we'll see about that. But Mason Holgate has had a really good, start. He's always been in the sort of 7 to 8 point range, and I expect him to go forward a bit more in this game.
Okay, slight risk. He didn't play against Sunderland, did he? Okay.
I'm not sure if he did.
I don't think he did. So, all right. But as you know, everybody there in DraftKings land,
yeah.
you can always select a player now, but then right up to kickoff, you can always change
So
them.
far I've seen it's still him starting, but we'll see. Yeah.
Oh, we'll see. But all the same, it applies to all of us. You can pick a player now. You're not locked in, guys. You can change your lineup right up to kickoff. Okay, midfielders. I'll kick things off, shall I? I'll go with mine. I've gone for two big hitters. All my money's gone in my midfield this week. I've gone for two of my favourite players. I've gone for Kevin De Bruyne of Man City. He is pricey. He's 9.7, but he's averaging around the 15 mark. That will only improve. He was an absolute titan against Manchester United last week. Easily man of the match, and I think one of the best players in Europe. And next to him, I've gone for Mahrez, a player who just basically beat up Belgium last night. He destroyed Club Brugge, and he's phenomenal. And again, a player that's playing his way into form as the season goes on for the champions. So two big picks in midfield for me. What about you, Jamie?
I've gone, well, big and small. So I've gone Kevin Morales, 5,900 from Everton. I love picking him on DraftKings because he's still only 5,900. Takes all the corners, takes a lot of the free kicks. I'll give him the edge over Balassi because of that, really, and I think he's a tiny bit cheaper. 1 goal, 1 assist in 4 games this season, 13.1 fantasy points per game. I could go on. I've written here, why did Martinez have such a problem with him? Unfortunately for Morales, he's now his national manager.
Good luck with that.
Good luck, Roberto, and Kevin, if you ever get a game for Belgium. Midfield as well, Dimitri Payet, 9,600, of course. Like, he came back for West Ham last week, had 25 fantasy points. He's so good. This guy, he's 15.4 fantasy points per game across 3 games for club and country. 2 of them were sub appearances where he was only on for about, I think 29 minutes was the longest he was on, which is for France. Last week was just typical Payet, 2 assists, 5 shots, 8 crosses. No matter how the game is flowing, he will always get you points. West Ham don't need to be losing, they don't need to be winning or drawing. He'll score you points regardless of what the score is at the time. Whereas with some of the other players, you sometimes struggle if they switch off a bit. Like Payet, points every week.
I love that. It's what you're saying is as sure as night follows day, Payet will score points regardless of how poor or brilliant West Ham play. Exactly. And I love the fact that not a week goes by that the ghost of Roberto Martinez won't haunt this show. Because, Jamie, next week, promise you won't mention Roberto Martinez.
It really annoys me that he didn't play him, at all.
But it was last season.
It was so good. It's like the Everton fans must be... I'm annoyed for Martinez because he may still be in the job if he'd actually played some of these players.
Well, his ineptitude made you laugh.
And now he's going to miss. Now he's going to miss out on winning the World Cup by not playing Kevin. No, I'm joking.
We'll see. Perhaps
better than that, Belgium.
Perhaps Roberto Martinez will learn his lesson because Morales is playing great. That's a really good selection, Jamie. Will you guys pick him at 5,000 odds? Probably you should. Right, your midfield, Edo.
Yeah, you're right. Let's stop talking about Roberto Martinez. Here's my first pick, Kevin Morales. 5,100.
Yes.
Very good.
And in fact, it shows to what extent the players, in my opinion, would not buy in anymore and completely gave up on that Everton side. Really, congratulations, Roberto. Having been born in Belgium myself and supporting that Belgian national team, I am frankly horrified. And Kevin Morales, need I add more? He's been scoring in between the 10 and 15 mark every week this season. And as you said, he takes the corners, a lot of crosses. He's been taking on players with quite some confidence as well. He's getting himself into the box. I'm a big fan. My other guy, he costs 300 less, Ilkay Gundogan of Manchester City, because, well, again, we're not quite sure if he's going to start, but it looks like he will. He had a pretty good game against Mönchengladbach in midweek. In fact, he had 3 key passes, had a few shots, and in fact, if you look back at his Borussia stats, he was averaging something like 2 shots per game. So Ilkay Gundogan will be racking up points no matter what. I really like him at that price. And of course, he's playing Bournemouth. So need I say more?
Fill your boots.
Yeah. Basically.
Very interesting selection. Will you guys go that way? I think it's a little bit bold. How much did he cost?
5,600.
Actually, the budget speaks loud. Why not? So let's move on to our strikers. Jamie, I'm going to start with you. Who are your big hitters this week?
Right, I've gone big strikers this week.
Right.
I've gone Romelu Lukaku, 8,600 for Everton. I think when he's in form, he's one of the best strikers in the league. I can't believe I've just said that. 5 goals in 2 games for club and country. The opposition's been poor. The opposition's poor this week. 35.5 fantasy points per game over the last 2. 9 shots last week, 6 on target. That's 15 points before you even get anything else. Yeah, they're on TV again. Bolassi's going to turn up. And yeah, last season he had that 7-game scoring run that I mentioned earlier. One of them was against Borough, and it in fact started against Sunderland, that run. So there's a lot of parallels to draw there. So yeah, pick him for the next 7 games and then take him out for the rest of the season is my advice.
Right, I love that. Before you come on to your second choice, I've got to say, I've never known, it's almost schizophrenic duality that you have when it comes to Lukaku, because when he's on
It's so
song...
predictable.
You wait, everybody in DraftKings. When he goes 3 games without a goal, you watch the things this man will say. Jamie, is he worth 75 million right now for 7 games?
It's worth 100 million right now.
Right, there we go. Jamie, who's your other striker?
Second striker is Riyad Mahrez, 9,500. 2 goals on his Champions League debut. Takes all the corners, takes the penalties, takes the free kicks. He's the man.
He is the man.
Loads of points.
I love that. So you got Payet and Mahrez in the same team.
I've got Payet, Mahrez, Lukaku, and this is why I've had to take so many centre-backs.
Good Lord. Well, everybody, as you might notice, I picked Mahrez for my midfield, but Jamie managed to slot him in his forward lineup. That's right, because this season, from now on, you can actually mix your midfielders in your strikers as well. They basically cover both positions, which gives a lot of flexibility in this game. Now, Edo, your strikers, who are they?
Riyad Mahrez, 9,500. DraftKings is starting to confuse me a little bit in that sometimes I won't get to see the highlights for a couple of days, and DraftKings will convince you that some player had a great performance. And maybe sometimes he didn't. So Mahrez opening day, or I think he did bang a penalty in an opening day against Hull. But there have been a couple of games where maybe he's not been. I mean, he's playing himself into form now. Yes. But even when he wasn't necessarily on form, the points are still there. So at 9,500, I think he's worth that price. The other guy, I regret not mentioning him when we discussed who our go-to striker would be once Sergio Aguero was suspended. Kelechi Iheanacho, 7,200. His 9 Premier League goals have come from 13 total shots. I don't think there's any news about it. It's not news. He's really good. He wasn't even that good against Man United, which is maybe why I held off on picking him. But he managed to score a goal, which was the easiest goal he's ever scored in his life. Against Bournemouth, he's likely to have similar chances. So I'm picking Kelechi.
Okay, Kelechi is for you and Mahrez. That's all 3 of us with Mahrez in the team. That probably should suggest to all you guys out there, there's a man who's on fire and playing a team he should do very well against. Now, my strikers, yep, I've gone for Berarino of West Brom. Ooh, he's cheap, guys. He's going to play because Rondon isn't playing, apparently. He's 5.5 thousand.
Why is he not playing?
I don't know. There was a queue next season.
Oh, okay.
Exactly on the list. It might change. Rondon might come
last
back
week.
Yeah, he wasn't playing last week.
He wasn't playing last week. Well, there's a question mark over Rondon, but Berarino did play now. Berarino is a very interesting player because we just don't know which one's going to turn up. The one from 2 years ago, I hope will turn up this weekend because he was fantastic and he was worth 20-odd million and the whole world and their brother wanted him. But the last year, he's had a dispute within the club. He wanted to leave. He wasn't allowed to leave. He's thrown his toys at the pram. There's been tweets. There's been things said at the press. He's not been happy, but he has to stay where he is and he has to play his way into form again. And hopefully he has the opportunity this week. And at 5.5 thousand, he's affordable. You just don't know with this guy. So I'm taking a bit of a risk. And next to him, I've gone for, well, who we've all gone for. Limited selection this weekend on strikers on the Saturday. I've gone for Romelu Lukaku, ex-Chelsea legend. Who probably played a combined 4 games for us. But I think he's great. He's a bully. He's an absolute bully. He's playing Middlesbrough, a team that are shaking in confidence, and he's on a roll. He scored 3 against Sunderland. I don't think Middlesbrough are that much better than Sunderland. I don't think they're that much better, and I suspect he'll get at least 1 or 2 there too. Right, those were our goalkeeper. That was our defenders, our midfielders, and our strikers. But there's one player left. It's an 8-man lineup. This is the utility player. That's right. That's where we could select a player from any position and slot them in with our spare change. So the money left from our $50,000 budget, that goes on this guy. I'm going to go first. I've gone for a defender this week, guys. I've gone for only 4.8 thousand. I've gone for Monreal of Arsenal. No one's picked an Arsenal player yet, I've noticed, actually.
Yeah, who are they playing?
Hull.
They're playing
I
Hull.
don't fancy them up there.
Yeah, I'm not too sure either. So I've gone for Monreal. He's a decent points getter. He does make a lot of ground. But 4.8 thousand is all I had left. Edo, yourself, did you save your money for your utility or just spend the spare change?
No, well, yeah, so I saved money so I could get Romelu Lukaku at 8,600. And we were talking about, his consistency. If there's one man, if there's one coach who can coach him out of that inconsistency, it's Roberto Martinez.
I'm going to ban that name From DraftKings forever. He's gone, guys. But sorry, carry on.
No. Yeah, I don't know why he infuriates me so much. Oh yeah, wait, because I support Belgium. Ronald Koeman has been everything Martinez hasn't. He's been really flexible. He seems to have coached Lukaku up because he started the season much as he ended the last, actually. If you consider Euro 2016 to be a bit of a bubble, maybe it wasn't actually much of a bubble, but he ended the season. He didn't look in good shape. He really didn't seem to have that same affinity inside the goal, in the goal mouth. All of a sudden, he's got it again. And yeah, flat track bully, an expression which, by the way, is used by Americans now. Love that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he scored 3 against Sunderland, and unfortunately, this Middlesbrough defence may need time. Ayala has had injuries and has not looked exceptional. Gibson looks promising, but the two of them are going to have to basically ramp it up to Premier League level. So this could be, once again, a really good game for Lukaku. And at 8,600, he still hasn't gone over 9,000, which will eventually happen because he'll eventually start scoring a lot of goals. And he will be back at Mahrez-like prices, Vardy-like prices.
I agree. I think after this weekend, we're going to see a change.
It'll be 9K.
We're going to see a change in the budget for Lukaku. So my suggestion, all our recommendation, get Lukaku now. This is the weekend where it'll be hot. And Jamie, finally, word of wisdom. Who is your utility player?
Got a guy that Edo mentioned earlier, Nicholas Otamendi, 4,400 from Manchester City. He's one of the few centre-backs that's actually averaging a lot of tackles and interceptions. With centre-backs, you usually get a lot of interceptions, but not tackles. Whereas he's averaging 4 tackles and 3 interceptions per game, which is going to get you 5.5 points before you've even looked at a clean sheet, which I think they'll probably get their first clean sheet of the season here. And as Edo mentioned earlier, he does pop up with the odd goal, and there's probably no one better in the whole league at delivering the ball into the box right now than De Bruyne. He's quality. So, and I don't trust Bournemouth defence. 4,400, can't go wrong. And I didn't have any money left. So.
Usually the reason behind now picking a utility player, certainly mine. Okay, you've heard all our selections. Now let's see them. Let's start with Edo's. Edo's, if we could take a look at his team. There we go. He has got Sketlendenberg in goal there. Just in front of him, we got Brendan Galloway, Mason Holgate. Will he play? Will he not?
We'll see about that.
A very talented player, though, so definitely keep your eye on that, guys. Gundogan, Miralles, who we all love again, Iheanacho, Mahrez, and Lukaku. Right, that's Edo's. Let's move on to Jamie's. Jamie's got Kasper Schmeichel in goal, Luis Hernandez, Phil Jagielka is the defence, Morales, there he is again. It's Dimitri Payet, one of the best players in Europe right now. Lukaku, a man on fire, and one of the limited strikers on offer this Saturday. And we've also got Mahrez there, and Otamendi as the utility, and finally my 8-man pick, there it is. Oh, look at my curly hair, it's lovely. We've got Tom Heaton in goal, Matt Loughton, John Stones, Kevin De Bruyne, my favourite player in the Premier League outside of the Chelsea team. Mahrez, Berarino, Lukaku, there he is again, and Nacho Monreal. Those are our 8-man picks, everybody. Have you picked yours yet? Have you even downloaded the app? If you haven't, do so. We're easy to find. Get us on your phone, get us on your tablet, your home computer. Get the $50,000 budget. Select an 8-man lineup. Go check the lobby out. Play your friends. Play me if you want. I don't mind. Play the world. You can win money. You can win cash. You can win prizes. You can win esteem. You can win the lot. Welcome to the big time.